So Newt, what were you up to last night? Shall I show YouTube what you got up to last night? This is what Newt got up to last night. This sock and that yarn and that sock was in this project bag. This project bag now contains some wrecked singles that I've been spinning on my Turkish spindle. Look at this. I'm not sure that's going to be rescuable. And this. And this. And this. All my hard spinning work was in that bag. What do you have to say for yourself? Seems fitting. Seriously, does anyone want a cat? So Newt's usually really good and doesn't pester my yarn stuff. She's in a really bad mood at the moment. She's got a, we think some sort of allergy, and every now and then, it's happened about 3 times in the last couple of years, she develops this bald spot on the top of her head, which she keeps worrying, and we have to put steroid cream on it. So when she's got that, we don't let her out just in case it gets infected. So she's not allowed out at the moment. So I tidied up my yarn and spinning bath that we found this morning, and probably about an hour has gone past, and I've just come back into the room, and obviously I didn't tidy it up well enough because, let me flip you around. The sock project bag is now right over the other side of the room, and the sock is back out of the bag, and my in progress sock seriously, I want to rehome a naughty ginger and white cat. Beware your yarn stash. I think that's more than enough cat shenanigans for the day, don't you? Hi, welcome to Vlogtober Day 21. My name is Angela, and all the places you can find me should be linked in the description box below this video. And I am recording this little section at the very end of my day as I'm editing the video, because I realised I didn't even bother to introduce myself or do any of that normal waffle. It was a day. So, community shout out. Today I'd love to shout out the lovely Julia, who is Mindful Magpie, and Julia makes amazing project bags. It's editing Ange again. As I was watching the video from this morning, I realised I missed the perfect segue, because that bag that you saw this morning that was being raided by my naughty cat was one of Julia's, and yeah, I missed that. And speaking of naughty cat, she actually has the audacity to expect some pampering after all of those shenanigans this morning. Anyway, back to Angela from this morning. And I know that she'll be having an update this weekend on Sunday as part of the virtual Knit Tea Retreat marketplace. And everyone's welcome to the marketplace. Usually at this time of year we have the in-person retreat, but obviously that's not possible at the moment. So the lovely Jenny and Zoe, the organisers of that retreat, have moved it online. And I've seen some sneak peeks on Julia's Instagram of some of the lovely bags that she's got, but I'll link to her website below. Please go and check her out. She also has a really nice Instagram feed, so I'll link that below. And if you pop over to her Instagram or to her shop, then leave her a little note and let her know that I've sent you over. And let's show Julia some Yarn and Yarns community love. So the eagle-eyed amongst you, even the not so eagle-eyed, might have spotted I'm not in my usual recording location. I've come into the office space above the shop today. I don't usually come to the shop on a Wednesday, but a couple of my local regular customers asked whether they could come and pick a few things up today. We're obviously fast heading towards our lockdown. So I decided that I'd come in and sort of help them just use the office space up here to do a little bit of admin. So I'm hanging out here for a couple of hours. My tripod and my phone for recording is, I thought I might record me just answering a few more of the questions for Vlogtober and hopefully give myself a little head start for some of the coming Vlogtober videos. Before I do that, I have brought a little bit of admin to do with me. Huge pile of printouts here. It doesn't look that huge, but it is. It's for everyone who has pre-ordered one of the Yarn and Yarns mugs that I put up on the web shop yesterday. Chatting, I think there's only one left. So I actually ordered those today. So anyone who has ordered one of the mugs, they should actually be with me next week rather than the beginning of November now. So as soon as they arrive, I'll be able to ship them out. And I'm just going to start writing out the address labels and stuff while I'm here. So yeah, thank you to anyone who pre-ordered that picture of the mug in up here in case you haven't seen it. But I featured it in an earlier episode of Vlogtober. I wasn't chatting about it, I just made my cuppa in it. And a few people asked if they were available. So I decided to put up a pre-order. I didn't want to order a bunch and then no one buy them. But within the space of just over 24 hours, the pre-order has pretty much sold out. So I'm really grateful for anyone who has wanted one of those. I've discovered that working in front of a window that looks out over our little high street is very distracting. I'll show you my little view. I'm looking out over another lovely independent gallery shop that we have here in Penarth called Artisan's Corner, and I can see down onto the high street with people coming and going and getting stocked up, I guess, before lockdown. It's 4 p.m. and my day in the office has ended. I've got a couple of packages to drop off in the post office on my way home. When I get home, I know that there is a really exciting box of yarn waiting for me to open, something that's going to go up on the website at the weekend. A lovely collaboration that I'm doing with one of my friends. So when we get home, we'll do that unboxing and I'll give you a sneak peek of what's to come. I'm home and I'm at this ridiculous angle because I've got my camera set up so you can see this box underneath me. I've had to put the overhead light on because it's really grey outside, so these may not show up the colours to their bestest potential, but I'm really excited to be able to say, I should probably do this bit, not crouching over, but we started, so we'll finish. Sorry, Charlie. I am, from Sunday, going to have some beautiful, locally sourced Lancashire yarn and fibre in the shop, hopefully. Definitely for the yarn, hopefully for the fibre. So my lovely friend Charlie, who is Charlie Button Yarns and Yarn Ambassador, she designs patterns and she goes around her local area in Lancashire collecting up all sorts of fleeces that might otherwise be unwanted and gets them spun up at really small local mill. And previously she's sold some on Instagram via the Knit Tea Retreat and also in person at the Knit Tea Retreat, and she asked me if I'd be interested in putting them in the shop and launching them for this weekend's Knit Tea Retreat. But obviously with them being in my web shop, they'll be available to everyone and it'll be easy for people to hop onto the website and purchase them. So I said yes, of course, leapt at the chance. I love a good local wool. So this is the box. I've sliced it open so you don't have to deal with me trying to get into the box. So shall we have a little look at what's inside? And I can stop leaning at this ridiculous angle. This is so exciting. So yay, right on top we have these gorgeous bundles of fibre that Charlie has carded up into bats. And I'm going to have some drop spindle kits. Oh, they smell so sheepy and good. I'm going to have some drop spindle kits in the shop soon. I'm still waiting on my order of spindles. There was a little delay with it, but I've had the dispatch notification. So I'm hopeful that maybe the spindle kits will be in by the weekend. So I've got 2 different types of fleece. One is a Portland and one is a Ryland mule. So one gorgeous bundle of sheepiness and the second gorgeous bundle of sheepiness. Oh, I tell you, they smell so, so good. I've got a little bag in here for me. Oh, little fibre sample for me, which is amazing. This is my little inventory of what's in here. But we've got all sorts of amazing goodies. So coming up in the shop at the weekend will be some beautiful Ryland tweed, and this is a DK / worsted weight. 100% Ryland wool from fluffy cheeky Rylands in the Ribble Valley, Lancashire. If you can see that. Beautiful, beautiful natural yarn. So I've got quite a few skeins of that. We have some Heathered Hebridean DK, 100% Hebridean wool from flocks grazed on the slopes of Pendle Hill in Lancashire. And let me just show you Charlie's card as well as the beautiful yarn. Look at how gorgeous that colour is. It's such a deep sort of chocolatey brown. It's looking quite grey on the screen from what I can see again, because I've got the sort of yellowish overhead light on. But it's just so beautiful, so beautiful. I've got Hebridean Aran as well, so a slightly thicker weight in that yarn. That was a DK that I just showed you, wasn't it? Yeah. So I've got some beautiful skeins of that, and I actually purchased some of this from Charlie. Haven't started knitting with it yet, but I'm thinking to make a Felix sweater with mine. A beautiful natural colour. I have got some Texel DK, 100% natural, sustainable and lovely, undyed, ready for your next project. Oops, if you can see that loveliness. I've also, and this is one of the things I'm most excited about, got some naturally dyed sets of minis. If you want to see the true colours, then go over to Charlie Button's Instagram. I'll post a link below, because especially these natural colours are blowing out in this abysmal light. So natural dyed mini trio, double knit this one is. So there's a natural dyed bit of the Texel, a Texel which has been dyed with lichen and onion skin, and one that's been dyed with lichen. And then there are some really vibrant 4-ply mini skeins, again natural dyed. One skein of this has been dyed with a woodland brew, which I think is just bits and pieces from the wood. Is that right, Charlie? One with nettles and one with lichen. And those are really beautiful colours. And then I know down in the box somewhere I have, here we go, some kits, a couple of kits to make the Lancashire winter hat, which if you've been following for a while, you might remember I knit a version of this. It's a pattern by our other friend Ruth. And this is a little kit to make that hat. You do have to buy the pattern separately, but the yarn in these is enough to make the hat. So this is a 50-gram skein of Jacob and in the chocolate colourway, and a 50-gram skein of Jacob in the natural. Doesn't blow out quite so much if I hold it back a bit further. So yeah, I'm so excited to have this box of loveliness. Hopefully I haven't missed anything. Oh, so sheepy, oh so lovely. I'm not bending down again. Look out for those coming to the Yarn and Yarns webshop on Sunday. We're launching them for the Knit Tea retreat, but you don't have to be attending the retreat. The marketplace, the virtual marketplace, is open to everyone. If you're a fan of working with beautiful natural colours from locally sourced yarns, then yeah, you definitely want to grab yourself some skeins of this. And if it goes well, then hopefully we will be able to top up the Yarn and Yarn shop if we happen to sell out. I'm sure Charlie's got more lurking somewhere I can have. Fingers crossed. Charlie, have you? Please tell me yes. Don't break my heart. So yes, that's my very awkward, inept, slightly weird unboxing. Okay, so it seems as though in this vlog we're going to be jumping around in space and time. Mostly because when I was at the office earlier, why am I doing that? I hate that. When I was at the office earlier, I thought I'd recorded an answer to a question of the day. I've just started editing today's footage, and what I realised I've done is recorded part of the answer and then 10 minutes of me sat staring wistfully in the distance. I'm thinking, this is me being wistful. And then deciding to turn off the camera until I actually come up with a proper answer for the question. And then, of course, what happened is I pressed record again, except I didn't. So I was sat there for 10 minutes talking at my camera and not actually recording an answer to the question. So Julia asked this question, fitting to answer this one today, as Julia was our community shout out of the day. And when Julia asked this question, we were in a slightly different situation and we were allowed to like meet people and crazy stuff like that. So she asked, given the rule of 6, who would be in your knitting circle? So alive, no longer with us, fictional, anyone you like. What a great question. Hence why I was looking wistfully in the distance, because I had some thinking to do. And I haven't had weeks to come up with an answer. Didn't ask this question. I didn't ask for your suggestions for questions weeks ago. No, of course I didn't. So I feel like this is one of those questions where the answer could be different given any different day in terms of what might be on your mind or who might be on your mind. It's quite a fun one to answer, isn't it? It's maybe slightly reflective of your mood of that day. So my knitting circle might change tomorrow. 2 of the names would always stay the same and the others might fluctuate a bit. I feel like I might be cheating somewhat because I've picked 6 people, but then when I thought about it, maybe I should only pick 5 because I'd be one of the 6, wouldn't I? I don't know, rules were confusing and they've all changed again now, so. I've picked 6 people for my knitting circle, and the first, without a shadow of a doubt, these would never change, would be my mum and my gran. And I think that any of us who've lost someone that is close to us can probably relate to that feeling of wanting to grasp one last chance, if we ever had it, of being able to chat with them again. And if we could include my mum and my gran, we might find out what is behind the story of the sheep on the beach finally. Wouldn't that be amazing? And also my mum and gran are knitters, so I'm not sure about some of the other people in my knitting circle, whether they'd be newbie knitters or not, so it'd be good to have some experienced folks on hand who could help me out. The next person that I went with is Michelle Obama, and I know she's a knitter too because there's been a lot about that in the press in recent weeks. It's one of the things that she's been using to help her get through these stressful times that we're all experiencing. But I recently read Michelle Obama's memoir, Becoming, and I really loved it, and I am always super impressed with her when I see her in interviews, and she's quite down to earth, and yeah, she's just someone I really admire, so I'd love to sit and chat with her for a little while and talk about yarn, knitting, life. Next I've got 2 fictional characters that I'd love to be in my knitting circle. The first is Mary Lennox from The Secret Garden, my all-time favourite book. Mary is a child in The Secret Garden, and she finds out a lot about herself and starts to develop a budding love of nature throughout The Secret Garden. So I'd love to invite a slightly older Mary to my knitting circle to find out what's been happening to her since the end of that book. And I feel like with her love of nature, she'd be totally down with getting all sheepy and fibery and yarny with us. So yes, Mary for sure. The second fictional character that I've picked for my knitting circle is Nanny Ogg from the Discworld novels by Terry Pratchett. And Nanny Ogg is one of the witches. If you've ever read any of the Discworld novels, and any of the Witches series in particular, you'll know what a character Nanny Ogg is. She would brighten up any knitting circle. She's not afraid to tell a ribald story or two. So, and let's face it, she's probably got needles and yarn shoved up her dress somewhere, because she keeps everything on her person in all sorts of places. All of the time. So yeah, Nanny Ogg to brighten things up. So Mum, Gran, Michelle, Nanny Ogg, Mary Lennox, that's 5. Number 6, Jason Momoa. Now I know objectification is wrong, but I feel like a shirtless Jason Momoa stood around doing a bit of arm knitting would totally complete my knitting circle. So there you have it. My fantasy knitting circle, including some other fantasy things. I'm pretty sure I'd have to fight for Jason's attention. I reckon Nanny Ogg would be trying to steal that limelight. So yeah, you've had a little insight into my crazy psychology. Share with me below who might be in your knitting circle. What a great question, Julia, thank you so much. I feel on that note, it's probably a good point to wrap up today's vlog. That and the fact that it's getting dark outside now. And I still need to go and edit this together. So hopefully I shall see you tomorrow. But until we get to spend time together again, I hope you get to do some of the things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now.